All right, something I want to talk about was I got from my girlfriend, her family, and then some seeing some girls around like their 20s. My friend and his friends of friends, and there's in the group sometimes there's people girls around their 20s, and I kind of got woken up to the real reality of what's going on these days. Kind of a lot of girls, man, they're like in their young 20s. They are I don't know. They're just not. They don't care one bit about. Like guys are not even 1 ounce on their radar. Now the ones that are Chad chasing. Like it's disgusting. Like Chad chasing. And then there's like a tiny sector that are ultra conservative and they marry early. JBW is very apparent in that circle. That's another video. And then there's the rest of them, which is growing much more than millennials and Gen X, of women just opting out. Like they don't care about guys. Don't. They're not focused on them. They don't wear 1 ounce. But the funny thing is, for example, there's this girl. There's this girl, and then he's working with my friend. He has a business, and then he's working under him. She's in her mid 20s around there, and they all give that same. I'm not interested in guys. I'm not dating guys. I'm not about. No, I'm not. Like this bitter kind of like I don't need a man right now. And then, but then my friend like told her about this chat. Like, he's definitely not a chat, but he's like a normal, like average, maybe 6 out of 10, Chad light maybe. Um, yeah, like a 5'8" kind of Chad light, and told her about him, and then boom, like she went on a date with him, and supposedly they kissed. They got really well along, or I don't know. They kissed, and I think they went on another date, and then she really, really, really liked him. She really liked him, but then he wasn't really that interested, and then he was dating maybe other girls, and then he went now he's back to the fire academy. Like he's gone. He's like he's not really interested. And then the girl just stayed like planted in love, and then she's back to just her old hibernation. Like I'm not interested in guys. I'm not. I'm just doing my own thing. Like a lot of girls are doing that, man. It's so messed up. Like they're just like in hibernation mode. I don't want a guy until they meet like a guy a little above their league, and then he pop, and then they're like, oh my god, that's him. That's the one. And then he, ends up dropping her, whether he banged her, whether he just ghosted after third date, and then they're still just thinking about him and waiting for the next kind of Chad Light or guy out of their kind of out of the league to pop in again. That's what they're doing. They're just I don't give a dang about guys unless it's a guy that's much higher value than me in some way, whether it's really really attractive or attractive and really ultra social. I don't know, but a guy that's much higher value than me, and then they'll just pop back into like hibernation mode. The thing is, while they're in hibernation mode, they are getting approached. They're getting approached by a lot of dudes. They're getting requests. They're getting dates. Like this girl I know, like she gets a lot of messages. She's got a lot of guys asking her out, and they're just rejecting all of them. Like all, I'll agree. A lot of them are uglier than her, but a lot of them are like her same looks level, and they're just rejecting them, rejecting them, rejecting them. And then they'll just tell on the outside. They'll say, "I'm not interested in guys." But then when a Chad Light or like a guy like much higher value than her comes in, like she's ready to date. She's like, okay, he's the one. And then it doesn't work out, and then they just go back to like this. I'm not interested in guys. My studies, my job, or not even my studies. Like a lot of times, like a lot of these girls are just very bad like really, really. I mean, not bad consumers, but they're consuming a lot in society, but they're not really producing anything. They have crappy jobs. They waste their credit cards. They're festival maxing, always on festivals and shopping and concerts, cheap concerts. Believe me, there's a lot of cheap concerts out there, and so yeah, there's just it's brutal because a lot of guys, like even the same age, are like ready to date, ready to date, like ready to their looks matches, ready. But these guys are just like shooing them all off. Like they don't care about dating unless it's like a guy that's extraordinary. And when you see who's putting in the work to try to procreate, the men are. It's the women that are. It's the young. If the young men are trying to put the work in to procreate to do. It's the young women that are just. I don't know. I don't know what the problem is. They've been fed this feminist agenda. They just want to focus on their studies, and they'll find a guy when they're like 31, 32. It is. It's sad, man. Like it's just a. and it's so hypocritical. And their whole I'm not looking for a guys. I don't care about guys. Yet they're putting up like these kinds of girls, especially this girl in instance is putting up like really like sexy, low key erotica pictures on Instagram, Facebook, and her sister and mom are all saying, "Yeah, you go, girl, you look cute." And then there's some horny guys there as well. Like they're showing their legs, and and sometimes they're Christian girls, but they're showing like they'll be hypocrites. They'll show their legs and their kind of their boobs, cleavage at a boat. They'll show one in front of a nice garden, like Instagrammy pics that are mixed with erotica. Yet they're not interested in guys. It's just they're the biggest hypocrites out there, man. And if you were, and supposedly they don't want attention from any men. Yeah, right. And then they're getting all these messages and likes on. So they want followers and simps, but they want to diss them all, and then only respond to guys out of their league. Yeah, I knew that was a problem, but I just saw it in real life, like a real life example. So, man, yeah, that's what I talk about.